Welcome back to CBS News 24/7. Since President Trump returned to the White House for a second term, he has made immigration a key part of his agenda. And as part of that crackdown, so-called sanctuary cities and states that aren't on board with mass deportation campaigns have been slapped with lawsuits, funding cuts, and other penalties. Here's President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, defending the administration's policy earlier this month.
President Trump said at day one, we're going to prioritize sanctuary cities because that's where the problem is. We know they're releasing public safety threats back in the community every day. We're going to go where the biggest problems are. The biggest problems are sanctuary cities.
But 8 months in, the effort to exert pressure on these jurisdictions have yielded few tangible results. CBS News politics and immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez is joining us now. He has new reporting on all of this. Camilo, thank you for joining us. Can you take us through what you've learned?
Hi, Mugo. Yes, good morning. We have learned here at CBS News that despite the aggressive and government-wide nature of this Trump administration operation and campaign to really put pressure on so-called sanctuary jurisdictions across the country, that operation, so far at least, has yielded few results. We have seen the Trump administration, Mugo, as you underscored, file many lawsuits against states like Illinois and New York and cities like Chicago and Boston, and also to attempt to withhold and strip federal funding from many of these jurisdictions. We have seen legal threats from the Justice Department, and we have also, of course, seen the deployment of ICE agents and Border Patrol officials to many sanctuary jurisdictions like Chicago right now and Portland to really exert pressure on those places to change their policies. But so far, the Justice Department, Mugo, has only identified one case, Louisville, Kentucky, that has actually abandoned its local policies that used to limit or prohibit local law enforcement cooperation with federal immigration agencies like Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, or Customs and Border Protection. I should underscore that the administration also created a list of so-called sanctuary states, counties, and cities, and Nevada last week became the first state to be removed, the first jurisdiction to be removed from that list, but that's only because the state's Republican governor has now vowed and pledged to work with federal immigration officials. And we should also underscore, Mugo, that those attempted funding cuts have been stalled by federal courts.
And so the sanctuary city crackdown has, as you said, it has led to several lawsuits against the administration. But where do some of those lawsuits stand right now?
It's an excellent question, Mugo. The administration has filed more than a dozen lawsuits we have found against so-called sanctuary jurisdictions, including big cities like Los Angeles and Boston, but also smaller jurisdictions like Hoboken, New Jersey, and Rochester in New York. And what we have found is that most of those lawsuits remain pending, unresolved before many federal courts across the country. And in one case, in a lawsuit against Cook County, Illinois, and the state of Illinois, the Justice Department actually had its lawsuit dismissed and dropped by a federal judge who said the U.S. Constitution does not allow federal officials to compel and coerce state officials to enforce federal immigration law, Mugo.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you so much for that report and appreciate your time today.